The financial psychology lesson nobody ever taught you is this: almost everything you believe about money is wrong, not slightly off. Fundamentally, silently, expensively wrong. And the worst part? The people who taught you got it wrong too. This is the money psychology problem nobody talks about. You have been following rules that sound logical, that feel responsible, that everyone around you repeats. And those very rules are the reason you are still not where you want to be financially. Stay with me. You do everything right. You read the articles, you try to budget, you tell yourself this month will be different, but something keeps pulling you back. You make a little progress, then something breaks, something comes up, or you just stop. And you cannot explain why. You watch people with less education, less opportunity, somehow build more wealth, and it makes no sense to you. So you work harder, you save a little more, you research better investment options, and still, the gap between where you are and where you want to be refuses to close. Here's what no one tells you. The problem is not your income. It is not the economy. It is not bad luck. The people who understand wealth mindset already know this. Your financial results are a direct printout of what is happening inside your mind. The barrier is always psychological before it is ever practical. In the 1970s, two psychologists named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky ran a series of experiments that would eventually win a Nobel Prize. What they discovered shook the entire world of economics. They proved that human beings are not rational decision makers, especially when it comes to money. We do not choose what is best for us. We choose what feels safest, what feels familiar, what our nervous system has been trained to reach for since childhood. This is the foundation of what we do here at Wealth Psyche. We decode the invisible programming that runs your financial life on autopilot, the patterns most people never even know exist. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. What you are about to learn is not budgeting advice. It is not an investment strategy. It is the actual wiring underneath your money decisions and how to change it permanently. What the psychology of money really means for your wealth. So what is actually going on here? Your brain has two operating systems running at the same time. The first is slow, logical, analytical, the part of you that reads personal finance books and makes spreadsheets. The second is fast, emotional, automatic, the part that actually controls what you do with money in real moments, under real pressure, in real time. The problem is that most financial advice is written for System 1, the logical brain. But your money beliefs, the deep, emotional, often unconscious convictions you carry about wealth, safety, and worthiness, those live in System 2. And System 2 always wins. Think about it. You know you should not impulse spend. You know that, and then you do it anyway. You know you should invest that money sitting in your savings account. You know that. But months pass and you still have not moved it. That is not a knowledge gap. That is a psychological gap. Your financial behavior is being driven by programming you did not consciously choose, from experiences you might not even consciously remember. Your brain is simply running the pattern it learned was safest. But that is only the surface. Here's where it gets deeper. How this financial behavior shows up in your life. Let us get specific, because this is where it becomes impossible to ignore. Behavioral finance researchers have documented this across thousands of studies. People consistently make financial decisions that hurt them, not because they are uninformed, but because their emotional wiring overrides their rational knowledge every single time. Here is the first way it shows up: self-sabotage right before a breakthrough. You get a raise and somehow your expenses rise to match it exactly, leaving you no better off than before. Researchers call this lifestyle creep, but the psychology of money underneath it is this: your nervous system is uncomfortable with more. It returns you to what feels normal, what feels safe, even when safe is secretly keeping you stuck. Here's the second: avoidance. You avoid checking your bank balance. You avoid opening financial statements. You put off conversations about money because looking at it makes the anxiety real. So you stay in a comfortable fog, which costs you far more than the discomfort of knowing. And the third, the scarcity loop. Even people with enough money operate from the psychology of not having enough. They make fear-based decisions, hoarding cash instead of investing, avoiding risks that could grow their wealth. turning down opportunities because the potential loss feels bigger than the potential gain. This is not logical, it is biological. Now here's where it gets really interesting. What behavioral finance says about the psychology of money. There's a specific psychological mechanism driving all of this. It is called loss aversion, a concept from behavioral finance made famous by Kahneman and Tversky's prospect theory. In plain language, your brain feels the pain of losing money roughly twice as intensely as it feels the pleasure of gaining the same amount. Losing $100 hurts about twice as much as finding $100 feels good. This is not a personal weakness, this is human neurology. But here's the consequence. If your brain is wired to fear loss twice as much as it values gain, then every financial decision you make is being filtered through a lens of threat. Every investment looks dangerous, every risk looks catastrophic, every opportunity feels like a trap. The psychology of money reveals that behavioral finance is not just academic theory, it is the live software running inside your head every single time you open your wallet. And the most important thing Kahneman's research confirmed, this wiring can be changed. The brain is plastic. Patterns that were learned can be unlearned. Responses that were programmed can be reprogrammed. So now you understand the psychology. Here is what you actually do about it. 3 steps to rewire your money mindset. Step 1. Name the pattern in real time. The next time you feel a strong emotional pull around a money decision, the urge to spend, the urge to avoid, the freeze before investing, pause and say out loud, this is a pattern, not a fact. You are not describing reality, you are describing old programming. Naming it activates your prefrontal cortex and interrupts the automatic response. This is a proven cognitive rewiring technique, not a motivational phrase. Step 2. Design a 5-minute money ritual. Every morning, spend 5 minutes with your finances. Not to fix everything, just to look. Open the app, check the balance, read one line of your budget. Repetitive, non-threatening exposure is how you rewire avoidance. Your nervous system stops treating money as a threat when you prove consistently that looking is safe. Step 3. Reframe your loss aversion deliberately. Before any financial decision, write down not just what you could lose, but what it costs you to do nothing. Loss aversion only fires in one direction. Force your brain to calculate the loss of inaction. This reprogramming of the threat response is exactly how behavioral scientists reverse financial paralysis. These are not motivational tips. These are behavioral science techniques. Here is what you now know that most people never will. Financial psychology is the missing variable in almost every money conversation happening today. It is not about knowing more. It is about understanding why your brain does what it does with money and interrupting those patterns deliberately. Your money mindset is not fixed. It was built by experience, and it can be rebuilt by intention. You started this video believing your financial struggles were practical problems. You are leaving knowing they are psychological ones, and that makes them solvable. Name the pattern, build the daily ritual, reframe the loss. Those 3 steps are not the end. They are the beginning of an entirely different relationship with money. Your Wealth Psyche takeaway. Here is the question I want you to sit with. Which of the 3 patterns we covered today, self-sabotage, avoidance, or the scarcity loop, shows up most in your financial life right now? The answer tells you exactly where to start. And if you want to go deeper on why your brain keeps returning to financial patterns, even when you consciously want to change, the next video continues exactly where this one ends. This is Wealth Psyche, because your money follows your mind.